welcome to my studio. Today we're working on our Christmas, our holiday string ornaments, and these are so much fun. There's so much you can do with them. Every time you make one they're going to be different, so let's get started. Every year I have one Christmas project that I absolutely love, and this is it this year. There's just so much you can do with it. I just love, love, love this. So we're going to get started and talk to you about how we do this. Of course, we're going to use a balloon and just get whatever size balloon that you want, blow it up, tie it really, really, really tight. That's real important if you want to even tie some string around it so the air doesn't leak out while it's drying. That's kind of important. And you can use whatever type of stiffener you like. I just use my regular Mod Podge. I almost like it better than some of the fabric stiffeners I've used. You can use sugar water. I just worry about critters getting into anything with sugar on it. Your cornstarch method, your glue, whatever method you really like to stiffen things up, then go ahead and use that. I pour mine into a little container, and I'm going to be using crochet thread and use I pull off quite a bit that I'm comfortable with because I don't want it to get tangled, because you can cut it again. And I soak it and then I pull it out, and then I just simply start to wrap it around my balloon. But you don't want it dripping so much, you don't want it solid. So you kind of want to pull some of that off so you get this nice clean egg-shaped kind of thread going around and around, and you want to make it as even as possible. I probably did this 3 or 4 times. Whatever you want to do, how much you want to do, that's up to you. And you can see this is pretty sturdy. On this one, I used 3 different colors. I did white, and then I did green, and then I did red. And you can do one white, one red, one green, one white, one red, one green, because obviously this is a bigger balloon. That's totally up to you, however you want to do it. Don't also just think Christmas colors. This is real pretty. It was a variegated. It was a little bit thinner, but it still worked out beautiful. And I could even come back and put some glitter on that, and that would even be that much more pretty. And we've got this winter theme. So just think about doing it however you want to, whatever colors you want to do, whatever the theme you want to go with. Whatever you have that you like. So once your balloon and thread is dry, you have this little part that you're going to have sticking out, and you're going to cut it, and it's going to make these squeaky sounds as it kind of goes all the way down. And you can leave it in there until we actually pull it out. That's up to you. I will tell you, think about the size of the balloon, about what you want to put in it. And one of the things that I do is I go to the thrift store and I look at Christmas items and I pick them up. This guy was 29 cents, and I'm going to be using him with my green one today. But you've got these trees that you could even combine together with that. I've got just some different kind of Christmas things in there. I've got a little doghouse ornament that I found with a little tiny tree in the back. And this one I put more of the stuff on the front, and we have these beautiful reindeer this year at MiriamJoy.com. But I hung a crystal, and then I just put a snowflake in there, and then I got some crystal kind of bulbies sitting on the bottom of that to help weight it down. So then you can go to Dollar Tree, pick up an item like that. But anyway, you've got to figure out what size you need to make your balloon. Another one that would really be cute is a little frozen guy. So there's all kinds of ideas that you can use. So find out what you're going to use, get that part done. And once it's dry, we're going to show you how to cut it out. So I'm going to use a template, and these are my large oval sets. This is a Miriam Joy exclusive product, and they're really nice because they'll go to any shape, and they'll just fit around it. We want it big enough that you can see into it and get your items into it, but not so big that it goes all the way. If you don't have a craft template, you can go to Google, type up oval templates, print one out, and cut it out of whatever size you want out of your cardboard. And then I cut it right here so it'll lay down, and just draw around it. I'm using a white charcoal pencil. If you have something that you like, you can use that. I'm going to cut this part out right here because I don't like that as quite as much, or we can put that in the back, but we want to make sure that we have enough string that it's going to hold together well. So I am just going to simply draw my oval, make sure it's up and down, line that up as well as you can. And I'm going to draw this on with my charcoal pencil just to kind of give me a rough idea where this needs to cut. And then I'm going to be using my snips. That's another Miriam Joy item that we have. They're just a more heavy-duty scissor. And I'm just going to cut this out. And you'll see you have places that you're going to jump, and that's okay, all the way around on my oval. Now that we've cut this out, we want to make sure that an opening is big enough to put this in. And I think I'm going to try and put him and the little tree in. And sometimes just because an item looks like it's going to fit, especially trees, make sure that you probably are actually going to go smaller than bigger. We're going to decide on what we're going to trim our little string balloon around with, and there's anything you want to use. I'm going to kind of decide what I think would look best with my piece as well, and you can even layer it up. By that I mean I put this little pom-pom down first, and I thought this was really cute. I love that. I picked that up at Walmart doing the Easter or Halloween. I think they had it on both of those. I haven't seen it at Christmas, but then we had this inside part, so I put this little trim. You could either use the gold, or you could even come back in and use something kind of looks more like your rhinestones and make that nice and bright. So whatever you want to do that with, and then once we do this, we're just going to be jumping from thing to thing. It's not going to be all the way solid there, so we'll just be hot gluing that on all the way around, but you want to make sure that you cover up those really well as you're working with them. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. You want the narrow part always at the top, and again I'm going to just have that a little bit, so I'm not going to put glue on that very edge. I'm going to put more towards the bottom and the middle. And I'm just going to work it a little bit at a time, not too much. And like we talked about, we're going to jump sections there. And I take my finger and make sure I have that on really well. And if you have a part that sticks out like that, you can trim it later or you can trim it now. There is no right or wrong to that. And I'm going to work my way around, but I've got to turn it a little bit more up at the top, and that might be something that you want to think about when you're picking out your ribbon, is it's got to be able to turn those corners. It can't be too thick that you can't get that to turn. And I've got those lifting right there. I've got my glue gun on low temp, and I may need to put him up to high temp or work in just a smaller section at a time. So I've been trying not to turn it on high so I don't burn myself as bad. Most projects I could actually do on low. That guy, we got a little bit close there. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish him all the way to the bottom. And then we'll start to put our guy in. I glued that all the way around. You want to make sure you overlap it or meet it where there's nothing in between, and glue that on. Now we're going to talk about our holder, and you can put it in all kinds of holders. For this big one, this is a little plastic serving dish that I turned upside down, and I think it's really pretty for a bigger egg, and it holds it really, really nice. I go to the thrift stores again, and I just look for different candle holders, and this is one of my favorite right here that you may want to put that on. I think this would be a perfect one for like our blue one with the snowflakes, but I'm going to use just a basic one. This is one that I found at the 99-cent store, and so that's something to think about how you want to display it. And I am going to just glue this on, and I'm going to use hot glue. If you're more comfortable putting this on with some E6000 or something like that that you want to stay on for a little bit longer, then go ahead and use a more heavy-duty glue. That is up to you. Now we want to make sure that we get this standing nice and straight up and down, and you can kind of look at it. I've got it tipping a bit towards the front, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. If you don't like it, pull it off and kind of do it again. So if you have that on hot glue, you can have a few seconds to kind of wiggle with that. And I've played with this a little bit when I shouldn't have. So we'll just do this real quick here on both sides, and I'll try to leave it alone. Okay, so while we've got this guy drying, we're going to start to put our guys on the inside. And again, I'm going to use this cute little bear that I have, and I'm going to hot glue him in. And like I said, I think I really, isn't that cute already? There's so much potential. You could use Christmas ornaments that is maybe somebody's favorite Christmas ornament, or things like that. Or ones that you just have that are just too much. You have extra of them. We kind of get some that kind of build up on us after a while. Now we're going to see if this little tree part, I might want to take the bottom of him off, and I'm going to. It's just too hard to get this bottom part in with this part. So I'm going to just pull this off. That base is so big. So I'm going to see where I want this on the Santa. And I'm just going to glue this on right now, because you actually want to kind of push it off. You think you have all this room in there, and you really don't. So I'm just going to glue him right on to our Santa. And give him a minute to set. And then we're just going to hot glue him. And we're going to try and put enough, because the bottom of our egg shape kind of tips down. So you want to make sure you have enough glue that it's going to actually touch the bottom. And we're going to get it set down in there. Make sure you have them where you want them. We can even put some down in here a little bit. Watch that coming through that other side. And if you needed to put a little bit down underneath him, like a little bit of filler of some kind, you can do that as well. There is no right or wrong. You may have a better idea on how to do this, and that is fine, because it's not a flat surface. So think about that. And remember how big that, or how little that tree looked, and he really starts to look a lot bigger now in there. So we've got all of that, our cute little Santa going on. I wish I had him turn just a little bit, but I think that's okay. So get that done, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about applying different things on our base. So I have a piece of garland, and Michael's usually will run this garland on sale during the holidays for $1.99. So watch their specials and pick some of this up. Or if you go to the thrift store and they have some older stuff, it never goes bad, so you can use that. So what I do is I take about half of that and I divide it, and then I wrap it around, just wrap it around my little guy. And sometimes you may need to get this middle part a little bit longer, but I usually just wrap it and twist it. So I've twisted that guy, and I think I'm going to have him just angled a little bit like that. And if you have some of these that don't want to go in, just move them towards the front. Don't worry about twisting them all in there. And we want to get that nice and tight. I think I need to get that just a little bit tighter there. But I'm going to simply just take a poinsettia, and I have some little gold pieces, and I'm going to do a little one on each side, if not 3, to make that uneven. And then I'm going to take a couple of my little pine cones and just glue those in after I get the rest of that put together where I want that, and just make it really simple. Now you might just want a little bow on that part instead. There's nothing wrong with that. That would be really cute as well. Or both. Or you can do a bow on top. This guy, the bigger one, I really thought needed something more. And I needed to cover up an area right here. So I put a bow there. And then I put a bow cascading down around the back of it as well. It kind of covered up some of that area. I just thought there was too much of that. And again, that's on my little serving dish upside down, and it holds that and looks really, really nice. And I really like that. But I think that is just perfect, just the way it is. Nice and simple, not too gaudy. And another thing that I was really thinking about doing is adding our mini fairy lights, and these are a product of miriamjoy.com, and I meant to actually put some in one of these before I even started it. You could put it in the back, and it would kind of even blend in with the string, and then put your guy up front, so you'd have these in through, and you could show those up and inside, and that would be really cute. That'd really be cute on my blue one. We do have these in white, red, green, and multicolored, and these have 3 regular AA batteries in. We turned ours on for 5 days constant to kind of see how long it would last, and it was just starting to get dim. So those are some of the fun things that you can do with it. I always tell you, don't take it and do it exactly the way I do. Make it your own. How would you see it? How do you have it? What decorations do you want to use? What keepsakes you may want to use for family members, or what ones you can find. Just turn it into something that you will cherish. Wasn't that a fun project? I hope you really enjoyed that. If you're making your Christmas crafts, come on over and post them during December at Miriam Joy's Waxy Crafty Corner for your chance to win a $100 gift certificate from us. So have a Merry Christmas from Miriam Joy.